What is going on, everybody? Happy Friday. Hope everybody out here having a great day so far. Huge weekend ahead. MMA's going on. NASCAR's going on. PGA's going on. NBA's, of course, going on. Rio, this will be the last show. Right now, my mouse is not working, so I can't even see you, Rio. So I'm just going to throw it to you right here in a second. Right now, last Friday show, last show in general for the year. Talk about it to the people. It's been an awesome year. You've absolutely carried the team like usual. One of the best NBA minds out there. I really hope I can get my mouse to work, though. I'll throw it to you. What's going on?
Yeah, hopefully you can get that figured out. But yeah, last show of the season. Dropped a little note in the Discord. Appreciate everybody tuning in to all these shows. Every 5 days a week, 6 days a week, some weeks. But yeah, it's been a really good year. Got a lot of exciting stuff on the horizon, and excited for playoffs. Playoffs are going to be a lot of fun. Last year we had a ton of success with the showdown. First couple weeks will provide us with some pretty awesome 4-game slates as well, which are always a lot of fun. Have those games spaced out throughout the night, so should be good. But yeah, just wanted to show my appreciation and just speak on that, because appreciate all you guys tuning in to these shows every single week and making it a lot of fun and making it a good year for everybody.
100%. Yeah, definitely. By the way, my mouse is absolutely screwed. I'm just not going to put myself on mute. I don't even know how I'm going to be able to go through these games. I'm going to try and keep turning it off and on. It's a complete mess. Sorry, nothing I can do right now. But I was able to pull up the comments, so I do see my man Little Neck, I Am Rice, Lyle, Pair by NY Steel, Jose in here. Yeah, appreciate you clicking it all for me. I mean, broad slate overview. I mean, again, this is going to be so tilting not being able to move this stuff. 7 games on DK, 10 games on FanDuel. I'm happy what DraftKings did. It's all within an hour, these 7 games. So screw putting on the other 3 that you have to wait forever with. Shout out to DraftKings getting it right. 1 million Q tags like always. 1 million double-digit spreads like we pretty much have had recently in April DFS. Any other broad slate overview you want to get into before? Oh, man, I got to read injury reports too. This is gonna be tough over here, Rio. I don't know. I got no mouse. I don't know what to do.
You just go by game, and then I'll read off the injury stuff as we get into it. But yeah, this yesterday's slate was gross. I think this one is even worse. Like, there's a lot of big spreads. It's a bigger slate, which makes it a lot tougher to figure out who to play. I think there's like 2 clear-cut games that should stay close, with the Portland-Chicago one, 6-point spread there. High total, and then OKC Houston. That one's a pretty big game for Houston. So those probably be the 2 games I'd be looking to get my studs in, and then probably just try and mix and match some of these value plays in these games that are supposed to blow out. But yeah, really gross slate. I think yesterday was it might have been the worst I've done all year long. The game did play out. The Warriors-Lakers game did kind of play out how I expected to, but it didn't matter because you needed Denny, you needed Giannis, you needed Paulo in those lineups, and the LeBron, Steph, Draymond, Kuminga, even Pods, all those lineups didn't even sniff near the top of the tournaments, just because you got some massive scores from the other games. So I think missing pretty big there hurt me, and I was playing from behind, basically leading up to that game. Hopefully do a little bit better tonight, but I don't think I'm going to be playing. I'd definitely be, if you're playing, like, tune back your volume a lot, because all this, like, the last week of NBA is going to be crazy. We're going to get some guys we've never heard of playing. We've already been kind of experiencing that a little bit, but now it's going to get even worse.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, MLB is going on, MMA, NASCAR, like I mentioned, PGA Showdown. There's a million other sports out there. If you do think you have an edge right now, you definitely have to be grinding, as always in NBA, around your computer to the last lock. Thankfully, today is only 1 hour. Man, if anyone knows like a LOGI, what to do with one of these things when it completely dies.
Logitech.
Yeah, if there's I mean, I guess I always tweak. I never like flip it off and on whenever I leave the desk. So with Donkey over here, that makes sense. I don't know, man. I got a lot to do on the day too, so I don't know if I got to go to laptop. Again, I'm gonna try. There's no chance. So I'm gonna read
a wired one that came with your PC.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just toss that one in there.
I think.
You should have. If you bought you should have had one. Yeah, it should have came with the PC.
Okay, well, I'm gonna have to find that. All right, we'll go game by game again. I can see Sabersim on the screen. Man, so brutal. That's the best I'm gonna be able to do. And I can see right now DraftKings. Yeah, I do have all 7. So I got the live odds and the total. And from there, Rio, I'm going to need you to carry the load like you always do, but even more so today. Let's start. First game of the night. Big favorites, monster favorites are the Pacers at 16, taking on the Utah Jazz. 239 total in this one. What I do know is Tyrese is getting a good bit of ownership. After that, I cannot click anything. So, yeah, take it away. And, again, I apologize to the people. This is absolutely brutal. Can you try to unplug it from the computer and try to plug it back in? All right, I'll try that, Byron.
There we go. I got Byron helping troubleshoot while we're live on the show. Appreciate that. So we have Q tags on a couple of these Indiana guys that could open up some value. Siakam got downgraded last night. Bennedict Mathurin has been in and out of the lineup for the last couple weeks, and then Aaron Nesmith questionable as well. I think all these Q tags are just trying to find some games to give these guys a little bit of rest heading into the playoffs. I would not be surprised if all 3 missed. I would expect at least one, with Siakam being the most likely, and I would expect Jarris Walker to slide into the starting lineup for either one of Nesmith or Siakam if one of those guys misses. A lot of positive commentary from Rick Carlisle on Jarris Walker. He's been playing really well in the minutes that he's been given lately. So I think that if he's starting, he's going to be probably the best value on the slate because he's got the added benefit of one starting, so the minutes are going to be secure on both ends of the or both halves. He should get the normal second half rotations. But also, if the game blows out, I don't expect him to go away from him. They do have some of these guys in the G League that they did call up, with Quentin Jackson being probable tonight, and then Tony Bradley's off the injury report. And then we got Ray J. Dennis and Enrique Freeman questionable. I definitely would keep an eye on the injury report there if those guys are out, because then it's just guaranteed that we're probably getting like 30 minutes from Jarris Walker if he's starting and a couple of those Q tags were to be out, and it's just a great matchup against Utah. So you're definitely going to want to get exposure there. But obviously, like Halliburton and Miles Turner in really good spots here. We'll want to attack the Jazz with basically everybody, but guards in particular. I'm just a little bit worried that the minutes could come down. Like I would expect Halliburton to probably have to like 30 minutes in a blowout win. And if that's the case, like he's probably closer to a fade at 9K in my eyes. Same thing for Turner. I think it's a little bit, you can get to Turner for sure. It's a little bit less opportunity cost at 6.3K. And he's got a really good matchup. The Jazz are dead last turnover percentage, allowing a ton of blocks and 3-pointers made to opposing big men. So he's obviously a very strong play here. But I always talk about it like with these Pacers guys that we're going to see those secondary options run a little bit longer stints in the rotations that they get. So I don't really want to match the field on some of these guys that are getting a lot of ownership. I'd probably just prefer to get to some of the secondary guys like a TJ McConnell at 3.8K. We know that he can go off in the minutes that he's given, especially with like the steals. And then, like I said, with Jarris Walker, if he's starting, I think you just kind of lock him in your single entry builds. The Utah side, it's basically just going to be Oscar Tshiebwe for me and move along. I don't know if he's going to start, but he should get a lot of minutes here with Walker Kessler out again tonight and KJ Martin out. They are going to be calling up both Oscar Tshiebwe and Michael Potter because they lost their G League game last night. So expect Michael Potter to get those backup power forward minutes and Oscar Tshiebwe, Filipkowski to split those front court minutes. And yeah, I mean, he's a really good value player. He's shown to be an elite rebounder in both the G League and in the NBA, and going up against a pretty weak rim defense. I think that he's in a really good spot here. The guards, I think, are definitely in play. I would probably just prefer Isaiah Collier because he's shown the safest minutes. Floor, played 32 in pretty much every game, like over the last 5 games. Came off a double-double last game, put a 48 DK points. Match was pretty good for him. I think that he'll probably avoid the Andrew Nembhard defensive assignment. And then Filipkowski, really good matchup. I like attacking the Pacers with wings, but his price is getting way up there now. He's definitely capable of paying it off, but I don't think that we're going to get like 36 minutes from him. It's probably going to be closer to like 32, 33, especially with Michael Potter back. He can definitely pay it off in that time, but I don't think that I really want to pay 7.1K for Filipkowski right now.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely is a big price or a big boy price. Shout out to my man Byron. That worked, man. All I had to do was unplug it, plug it back in. That just made my day. That was going to be absolutely brutal to have to stare at a screen not moving with a million players for the whole show. So thank you very much, Byron Little Neck. Thanks for making me laugh. So center's loaded on this slate. Like I'm probably going to be loaded the rest of the year. When there's big men injuries, you just get very cheap guys. Most centers are good point per minute producers. It's a lot of 2 center builds. So like Turner's strong in this game. Tshiebwe's strong in this game. Klingman kind of in that same range. Paul Reed. Like, how do you look at Tshiebwe and Miles Turner relative to like some of those? Sabonis up top when we get to the next game. Like most of the lineups are going to be two centers, in my opinion. I think that's how you should build. How does Turner and Tshiebwe stack up amongst the others?
I'd say Turner is pretty low on the list of priorities at center, just because we're going to get a lot of really good value, like you said, possibly even better value if Joe Val does get the start for Sabonis tonight. So I would probably that's why I'm not super crazy about the Pacers even in this high total. Like we've seen a lot of times where they win these games by blowout. None of these guys really get there in a big way. So I would say Turner is pretty low on the list, but Tshiebwe is definitely up there, especially if he's starting, just because 4.3K, good tag for him. It would probably be like him and Joe Val. If Joe Val's starting, that'd probably be the two guys I'd be starting with at center.
All right, I like it. Let's keep it rolling to the next game on the slate where we'll talk about Joe Val. Sacramento Kings taking on the Charlotte Hornets. Another big favorite. The Kings 10.5, 215 total in this one. 215.5 actually to be exact. Injuries on the Sacramento side. Sabonis is questionable. Big news. That's why we keep talking about Joe Val. Devin Carter's questionable, means nothing. Going over to the Charlotte side, Nick Smith is questionable. No Josh Green, no Damian Bow. I mean, this looks like one of the worst games. If Sabonis plays, I just do not. It's two relatively healthy teams, like when we're talking April-ish. And yeah, I mean, no thank you on any of these Charlotte guys. 102 implied. They're implied for 102 points. By far the lowest on the slate is big dogs. If you search by value, I guess Nurkic is showing a little bit. Center's too loaded. I'm not sure I want to mess with that. Give me Tshiebwe right in that same price range. Yeah, King stuff. If Sabonis plays, the game stays somewhat close. I mean, he should dominate down low. But again, you're kind of flipping the build. Everyone's going to go cheap at center. I don't mind, I guess, if he does play going there. If he doesn't, though, which it kind of sounds like you might expect. 3.8K Joe Val. I mean, yeah, center's absolutely loaded for sure, assuming Sabonis is out and he starts. Anything else that you like in this game? Do you have a lean on Sabonis? Not that we need it. It's at 7 Eastern, but any thoughts?
No, I honestly think you kind of covered it pretty good. Like I would think that Joe Val near a lock if he's starting for Sabonis, and you kind of can expect Sabonis to sit here. Like you don't get downgraded with a questionable ankle injury that he's been dealing with for a little bit, and then play through it. I would imagine the Kings are kind of locked in right now. I think in the play-in, obviously getting a win here would just be good for the morale after losing to the Wizards. And it's a good matchup. It would be a really good matchup for the bigs in particular, between Sabonis and Joe Val, just with the way that the Hornets don't really rebound the ball that well and the way that they give up a lot of points around the basket. So whoever's starting at center are really going to be the only guy that I have interest in. Definitely want it to be Joe Val just because 10.1K for Sabonis right now is like, I don't know, that's unplayable in my eyes. Just like 50 is fine on this slate, but I mean, I don't know. That might be good enough. I don't know, because I don't expect this to be a really high scoring slate, but it's just been really hard for Sabonis all year long to access that same ceiling we've seen from him in past years when you have to share so much usage with like DeMar and Levine and Monk. Like it was a lot better when it was just him and Fox, but now that like Monk took on a bigger role this season, Levine has always been a higher usage guy, and then DeMar just like kind of the possessions start and end with him at times. It just makes it really tough because they're not getting like those triple-double games from Sabonis, and even like the rebounding rates have been not as good lately. So I would probably not want to play him. I'm just kind of hope that he's out and then we get Joe Val value because he'd be the best on the slate. That would definitely make DeMar a little bit better. The matchup's pretty good with no Josh Green and no Josh Green. So that would definitely make his matchup a little bit better. I don't know. I don't love this game. I don't really like anything on the Charlotte side. Like Salon is a okay value. Like he's definitely better if Bridges were to be out, but Bridges is off the injury report, so he'll be in tonight. So yeah, don't like this game very much. I think you just kind of hope that Sabonis is out and then play Joe Val and move on. Might have lost Title Town. I think that Brian might have messed up his computer by making him unplug. Is he back? I can hear you. All right. Well, I'll wait for a message from Title Town and see if he's going to be able to make it back here.
Well, I can. Now I can't even fucking hear you. I know I know my Wi-Fi is somehow back. I don't know, man. Now I can't even freaking find out where this. You just keep going. Go to the next game if you can, Rio. I'm gonna try and figure this out.
Yeah. All right. So we'll move on to the next game here. Shoot title message real quick. Maybe just have him leave StreamYard and come back. So the next game we got Phoenix taking on Boston on the road. Phoenix is 14-point underdogs. Pretty fully healthy team in Boston. Phoenix is obviously going to be without Kevin Durant, but they'll get healthy Royce and Bradley Beal. This is another game that I don't really have a ton of interest in. I think you could make the case for Booker as a spend up at 10.2K just with it just being a slate where there's not a lot of great spend ups, and obviously he gets a lot more usage with no KD. But the matchup is not good. I honestly expect Phoenix to get blown out in a pretty big way here. Their defense has been a train wreck all year long, and going up against a Boston team that can really widen the score pretty quickly, just with the way that they launch threes, and like if they're hot, you can look up at one moment it's a 2-point game, and the next minute it's a 20-point game. So I would probably just be siding with the Boston side and hoping that they just blow it out. And we don't really get enough fantasy points on the Phoenix side. Royce would be okay as a value at 4K. Just he's cheap and he can get hot from deep, so that's kind of what we'd be hoping for there. But I don't love anything on the Phoenix side in particular, other than like getting some sprinkles of Devin Booker, just because the pick and roll defense for Boston has been their issue. So if he were to get it going from a fantasy perspective, it would probably come from there. But I don't really like paying 10.2K from him. The Boston side going to be close to a full X out, I think. I mean, these prices are way up there now. I guess Tatum at 11K is fine. The matchup is really good for all of these guys, especially the guards. But 8.5K for Jaylen Brown, probably in returning in limited fashion. I'm okay getting away from Porzingis at 8.2K. No, thank you. Derek White and Drew are way too expensive. Same thing for Pritchard. Like these prices need to come way down to even be in consideration. So it's probably just going to be Tatum or bust on the Boston side. All right, all right. So just going to be I'm going to be going full screen right now as we hopefully we can get title back pretty soon. This is a good way to end the season. All right, yeah. So the next game we have is Detroit heading into Toronto, take on the Raptors. We do have questionable tag on Scotty Barnes. RJ Barrett did get ruled out, as well as Ochai Agbaji, and then Emmanuel Quickley and Jakob Poeltl are off the injury report. And we have Cade Cunningham listed questionable, so an upgrade from the doubtful tag that he's been dealing with. When we still have Isaiah Stewart suspended one more game. Tobias Harris is out tonight to open up a starting spot, likely for Malik Beasley. Will move up. They'll move up Asar to the power forward position, and then Paul Reed should get those backup center minutes. This is an interesting one on the Detroit side in particular. I think that Paul Reed will definitely get some look tonight, 3.6K, just because he got those backup center minutes. But what is interesting to me is Jalen Duren at 7.5K, kind of in that no man's land at center. Because the first game without Isaiah Stewart, his minutes got way up there, 34 minutes. They've never really shown a willingness to want to play Paul Reed a lot, and they're kind of having to do it now just out of necessity with no Isaiah Stewart. I think adding Cade back into the mix is better for Jalen Duren's outlook from an offensive standpoint. Obviously, they have a lot of chemistry there with all the lob stuff. I look like we got Titletown back. Are you able to hear? Yo, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you.
You're good. You were muted.
Oh, but I can't see myself up on the screen.
I'll put you up.
Bro, it's not working.
There we go.
Thanks. Dude, this shit's pissing me off. By the way, whoever's got the mouse thing, like, is it just dead maybe? Because like it goes off every other time. I literally couldn't connect my headphones because my Bluetooth thing went away. My Wi-Fi cut out. I'm so tilted. Keep going. I'm gonna try and pull Saverson back up.
All right. So we are officially back, ladies and gentlemen. It's a good way to end the NBA season. Yeah, so what was interesting to me was seeing those minutes for Jalen Duren come way up to 34 in the first game without Isaiah Stewart. And we're getting that again here, like a low ownership in a matchup that we love against the Raptors. Like I still really like attacking the Raptors around the basket, even with how good they have been in the second half of the season. And honestly, I was definitely dead wrong about them yesterday. I said I didn't really believe that their defense was very good, but after I was watching that game last night against the Blazers, like they played really good defense, and it was making it really hard on like Denny and Shaden Sharp at times. But the rim defense still wasn't very good. Like Shaden was able to get to the basket at will. Klingon put up a really, really solid score for his price. So I think Duren is pretty good here at 7.5K. Nobody's going to really be playing him. I still think that this could be a spot, like if we get the 32, 34 minutes again, that we could see a really, really big game from Jalen Duren here. Obviously, adding Cade back is going to take off the upside of basically everybody outside of Duren. I think Dennis Schroeder becomes unplayable. Tim Hardaway Jr., I'm not really buying into him, having a couple hot games shooting the ball. But I'd be okay with Asar at 6.2K. He should be pretty unaffected by Cade returning, just filling in for the Tobias Harris minutes. And then Malik Beasley at 6.1K, overpriced for sure, but I still think there's a little bit of upside there. He's averaging 30.4 DraftKings points per game as starter of the season. The Toronto side, probably going to be closer to an X out, and unless we get news that Scotty Barnes were to miss. If he does miss, then Mobo becomes very interesting at 3.9K, assuming he would get the start. Jameson Battle and Jacoby Walter would be much better options as well as value plays. Don't really want to pay 7.5 or 7K for Pirtle or Quickly. And then Orlando Robinson, I think, is still in play at 4.1K. Just max one him and Jakob Pirtle.
Bro, this shit is so annoying. I'm about to chuck this mouse. This is just random. Like, it just dies at a certain time. Like, it works for a second, then it doesn't. I don't know.
I think you should. I always go with the wired stuff when it comes to PC.
I should. I mean, because, right now it just died. Like, I was able to unmute myself, but now I cannot do anything on the screen. Oh, my goodness. All right. We're on Boston, Phoenix. That's pretty much all
we're on Portland, Chicago now.
Damn, good for you. You're absolutely cruising. I love it. I'm talk about carrying the ship. Oh, bro, I'm about to toss this shit through my. All right, Chicago and Portland. Here we go. And I can't even. That's the one cutoff on DraftKings. Let's scroll down quick. Hopefully. All right, there we go. 6-point favorites are the Chicago Bulls taking on the Portland Trailblazers. 234.5 total in this one. I cannot see any injury report. I do know Lonzo probably going to play today. Means absolutely nothing. What matters? Probably Denny Avdia, the best player to ever step on the court. Shaden Sharp, maybe. I can't even look at the Q tag. Is Anthony Simons questionable? He missed yesterday. That was a big one. Banton then would get a start again. Dude, this is absolutely insane. But yeah, carry it away, Rio.
We got to use some of the super chat funds and get you a new mouse or something.
Bro, like I just was able to click it. Now it's dead. I can't
have a spare one
read the
hanging around.
No, not that I know of. I'll go ask Maddie quick.
All right. While he's doing that, yes, we have Q tags on Simons, like Title mentioned, and then Kamara and Duop Reith did get not downgraded, but they were picked up some mid-game injuries last night and then missed most of the second half. So I would kind of expect them to miss here. I don't think that they're going to want to really put their guys in jeopardy at this point of the season. There's like an outside chance Portland could still make the play-in, I think, but I think right now they're kind of just playing for pride. But that definitely would open up some value. Kamara, if he were to miss, then looking at like Chris Murray, I believe he's 3K, 3.1K. He would pick up a pretty big role. He's started a couple games this year, and they will just like run up his minutes a ton. I think the last time he started was against Washington. He played 37 minutes in that game, put up a double-digit rebounds, 30 DraftKings points. So if he starts, like he's going to be a really good value and kind of tough to get away from. The Duop Reith one is obviously less important. That would just put Jabari Walker back into the mix. He played pretty well last night, filling in for him. And then the Simons one is obviously the big one because we're getting another start from Delano Banton. He got there kind of towards the end of the game. He played 37 minutes, shot horribly again in the first half, and then kind of got there in the second half. I think he put up like 12 or 13 points in the third quarter to kind of salvage a pretty bad night. But if he starts, like I'd be okay going back to him just because we know that the Chicago games, like they provide us with a ton of fantasy value. So I'd be okay going back to him. But yeah, Denny at 9.4K. I'm fine with that price tag. I would say this is yesterday was a pretty tough matchup. He was able to get to the rim at will, and he should be able to do that here. The one strength for the Chicago Bulls defensively is their wing defense, having guys like Buzelis and Patrick Williams out there to kind of try to slow down guys like Denny. But I mean, he's just playing so well. I think you just kind of keep playing him until the wheels fall off. Like 9.4K is expensive, but he's definitely warranted. Put up 61 points last night, 72 the night before that. So yeah, I'm definitely fine going right back to Denny. I think Sharp is pretty good here. He played 39 minutes in back-to-back games, then 34 last night, 56 DraftKings points in back-to-back games. So he'd be fine regardless, I think. Obviously, if Simons returns, that would take off a little bit of upside. But if he's out, like just go right back to Sharp. I think this is another really good matchup for him. Just like his skill set can really shine here. He's really good attacking the basket, finishing around the rim. And then Klingen at 5.8K, I think, is very solid again. We've loved to attack the Bulls with opposing centers all season long. They've been towards the bottom, like 5, bottom 3 in DVP against centers all year. So really good spot for Klingen again. And then if Kamara misses, then Josh Giddey on the other side would be an option. I think he's going to get a little bit worse with Lonzo back. But similar to Denny, like they've just been playing so good in the second half. I think you just kind of lean into it. And this is a close game, close spread, high total. So he should be pretty solid if Kamara were to miss. That's probably it on the Bulls side. I think it gets a little bit tougher. Like adding Lonzo back, it's going to take away some of the minutes upside on like Herter, some of the usage away from Kobe White. Patrick Williams probably negatively impacted. And then I think like Phillips and Dalen Terry are probably out of the rotation now if Lonzo were to return. How's it going over there?
No, not good. I have a mouse. I should have no clue where that other connector thing is. So what's that gonna do me? It's also one of these stupid ass Luigi shit. No, do you have a? Can't even unmute. We're on with everyone. Yeah, I'm not unmuted. Do you have?
I muted you. All right. I'll try to talk about this a little bit more until Tidal gets back, but yeah, I think Vooch, like the matchup is good for him. Definitely have liked attacking the Blazers with opposing bigs. I think that he's kind of in that no man's land for pricing, but I think that if there were ever somebody to attack or to play on the Bulls outside of Giddey, it would be Vooch. I think that would probably be it. And yeah, really just a game you're going to want to wait for some of the value. There's probably going to be pivots in like the San Antonio Cleveland game where you can get away from like pivoting if the news doesn't hit the way you need it to. But yeah, I would think that Chris Murray would be a guy that I would definitely want to get a lot of if Kamara were to miss. Hopefully Tyler will be back soon. He could get back to the host and share, but it sounds like he's going to be looking for a mouse for a little bit. So I'll just move on to the next game. Hopefully he comes back soon. Next game that I have here would be the Cleveland and San Antonio Spurs game. You good?
We're about to find out. I have to. Jeff, Maddie's dad to the rescue. All right, not this.
Let's go.
One. Hold on. He gave me 2. By the way, Maddie says hi. And I'm freaking tilted. It's got to be this one. Come on. Bing, bada, boom.
Let's go.
Thank you, Jeff. Back. We're back. We are back. Just in time for the last game, right, Rio? I was listening to you the whole time.
We got 2 more. So do the OKC or Houston, whichever one. OKC, Houston, San Antonio, Cleveland.
Okay, which one did you plan on doing? It don't matter.
We'll do the Cleveland and San Antonio one.
Cleveland Cavaliers, 13-point favorites over the San Antonio Spurs. 241.5 total in this one. Problem is, after I restarted my computer, I have no injury reports up, Rio, so take it from there. I'm going to get, now that I have a full-time mouse, I'm going to lock in and, hey, you know what? I'll give you some. I never knew no plays of the day, nothing like that. I'm going to lock in for these last. It's been so bad over here. I'm going to try and do something for your little neck. So I'm back. I'm locked in. Let's do this.
Let's go.
Nice
treat for.
Hey, yeah. Garth, send me $3. You need my Venmo for $3? I'll take that.
Well, I gotta get you a mouse now because I lost the bet.
Oh yeah, baby, that's right.
Yeah, we'll get you a nice $3 mouse. You can use the other $17 to get you a burrito or something.
There we go. Let's do it. All right, I'm back though.
So yeah, injury report in this one is pretty clean. Just Ty Jerome out for Cleveland, San Antonio, obviously without like Wemby and De'Aaron Fox, but they have a Q tag on Charles Bassey. It sounds like they're trying to get him back. And then Jeremy Sochan is out again. Other than that, they're pretty clean. Probable tag on Keldon, and then Devin Vassell off the injury report after getting a game off the other night. Yeah, I mean, Cleveland is in a really good spot here. San Antonio Spurs, one of the worst defenses in the second half of the season. The rebounding rim defense has been, in particular, really bad. So I think the front court guys for Cleveland are in a really good spot here. Evan Mobley, Jared Allen are probably going to be the two guys I'd be emphasizing in my player pool tonight. Jared Allen, really, though, I think he's pretty good. Kind of the nature of the slate. Like, you're not going to get a lot of ownership on these like mid-7 or upper 6 to like mid-7K guys, and I think they're all pretty good, like the Duran, Vooch, and Jared Allen guys. And last time he faced off against the Spurs, that was when he went off. I mean, he was 0 for 1, scoreless in the first half, and then had that huge fourth quarter, 29 points, 15 rebounds, 10 for 11 from the field, 9 for 11 from the free throw line, 53 DK points. Yeah, Mobley and Allen are going to be the guys I'm looking to here. I think Mitchell, probably a fine option. He's playing more minutes as of late and been crushing. He went off the last time they faced off, almost had the triple-double. That was without, I think Garland was out that game, if I'm not mistaken. It was one of Garland, or it might have been Mobley. But yeah, his price getting up there. I think it's definitely fine, though, just the nature of the slate, not a lot of great spin-up options. 9.3K, pretty solid for Donovan Mitchell, kind of rounding into playoff form. Mobley, I think he's getting a little bit too pricey. I'd probably just side with Jared Allen. A little bit better for Mobley having the power forward center eligibility, but I just think that Allen, from a points per dollar perspective, is the better play there. Then DeAndre Hunter, 4.1K, good matchup for him. Put up 30 against them the last time they faced off, so he's decent. Spurs side is pretty gross. Castle price is a little bit too expensive for me with Vassell returning. I don't know, Chris Paul, I guess. Like, I was kind of shitting on him earlier, a couple slates ago, but he's been, I don't know, he's playing for pride right now. He said he's going to play another season. He'll be 40 in a couple weeks. So, yeah, he's a fine option, I think. I probably wouldn't expect like the same performance from like Sandro that we got last time with Keldon returning and Bassey possibly returning tonight. I think if both those guys are back, you kind of get away from a chalky Sandro. I think Barnes is okay. I just don't really like the matchup for San Antonio here, or for San Antonio. I think there's a really good chance they get blown out. I said that last time Cleveland faced off against them, but now Cleveland's fully healthy with Mobley returning, so I think their defense should play a lot better. The rebounding was not good in that game. I think that they are probably going to run away with this one.
Mamu, you might have mentioned just at the end. I'm seeing one of the chalkiest players on the slate.
Yeah, I think people are just kind of overreacting to it. I don't know if it's like he's taken Sochan's role with him out.
Yeah,
but I think it's like it was more so Keldon being out last game that helped him.
Man, yeah, I mean, there's just a million, like Tshiebwe down there, Paul Reed's down there. I mean, Klingon's not like free, but he's also not too expensive. I just saw a million other values on this slate. If he's going to be that high owned, you don't like him much, I think that could be an underweight stance. What about that Scotty Barnes? I know last time, or I was looking at a completely different game. Do you have a lean on that though? There's been so much going on the slate. I'm trying to circle back and now lock in to get Little Neck stuff. But he played when we didn't expect. I know I'm circling way back. But the Walters of the world, stuff like that. Did you have a lean there?
Not really. So there's 5 games left for Toronto, and I think that he needs to play like 3 more games to be eligible for any awards, because they have that stupid rule now where you can't be eligible if you miss a certain amount of games.
Yeah.
So he's gonna end up missing at least 2 more of these games, I would imagine. I don't really know like what awards he's potentially up for, like some defensive ones maybe.
Third team all defense.
Yeah. Face of the league. So we'll have to just see. I don't know. Like he's like actually injured right now. The coach actually said that he's like struggling to shoot the ball. So I wouldn't be surprised if tonight is the night they give him the night off.
Because Walter and Battle, the reason I like those two, I would go right back, and they look so strong. And like Mamu's in that same price range, obviously different positions, but I mean center and all that's loaded on this slate with value. Like those would be great guard forward value in Walter, Battle,
and
I would
Mobo.
love go and Mogbo. Yeah, how would you rank those three?
I would probably lean with whoever's starting. I think it would be Mobo just because they need a power forward, and that just kind of fills that role with Orlando Robinson getting the backup center. I think it's probably Mobo getting the start.
All right, sorry, I know I'm jumping all over. Back to this game though, man, the Jarrett Allen call, like he has to be like completely unknown because of center. Like center is so strong. I feel like if people go mid tier, it's probably Miles Turner right now. But you just have infinite amount of salary to spend. Like D-Mitch is going to get some, like pretty much every spend on the slate is going to get some ownership because we just don't have that slam dunk one. Like SGA, Tatum, don't project well. Cade, I think, gets some, but point guard's pretty strong. Sabonis, center's loaded. D-Book does not project well in a tough matchup. Like you just force to spend the money. I know you talked about it when I was gone, but Denny, like I don't know how you don't play 50+% of Denny. Like I'm just going to keep rolling with the guys that have done it. I don't care about that price tag at all. But you just have to spend your money somewhere. It's what we had the slate yesterday. It's going to be the rest of April DFS for sure, getting the spends right. But there's just infinite value. So back to that to wrap it up. Yeah, Mamu going to get a lot of ownership. So many other pivots. You don't love it that much. That's what stuck out to me most. Anything left in that one? Otherwise, the last game of the night we'll get to.
No, I think that's it.
OKC Thunder taking on the Houston Rockets. OKC 6-point favorites, 227 total in this one. Injuries on the OKC side. No Jalen Williams. The center, Jalen Williams, not J-Dub. Isaiah Joe is questionable. The other side with Houston, Dylan Brooks. What a goofy dude. He is out with the suspension. That is it for him. I mean, we're talking spends in this game. Like I mentioned, the SGA stuff. Sengun, 9.2K. Amon, 8.9. Definitely have spends in this game. Now, when we sort by value, none of the spends really project too well. Chet, fine. Sengun, fine. Again, SGA definitely does not project very well. But with all that said, a 6-point favorites only for OKC. Like if they're playing all their minutes late in the game, I'll pay for those extra minutes, close game, even though they're not projected that well. Like we just said, the nature of this slate, you can poke holes in pretty much every other spend. So, yeah, I don't think we can ignore this one. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree.
I got it from my father-in-law. I don't have a battery, unfortunately. So does that mean this thing, I could just throw a battery in here, right here? That's exactly what it is.
Yep.
What a fucking donkey. Oh, my gosh. I could have done that the whole time. Bro.
This guy's like a caveman figuring out about fire.
Bro, I'm pissed. All right, go. Like the whole time, I could have just grabbed this stupid-ass battery. Thanks, Frankie.
Get some from the smoke alarms.
No, I got one right here. That's the thing. I got one literally in the kitchen. I was so worried about the stupid mouse. All right. Yeah. Are you playing SGA? Are you playing Chet? Are you playing Amon? Then we got our man Metus always says the Bills. What's going on?
He's always what's up, man? This is definitely the game that it has the most importance from a standing standpoint. Like, and mainly for Houston. I mean, they're second in the West right now. Can't really afford to lose with. I mean, there's a huge game with Denver and Golden State facing off tonight, so Denver could possibly catch them. And I think that I'm not sure if Denver and Houston play at the end of the season, but I know that Golden State and Houston do play each other on Sunday. So a loss and a win for Golden State, like, kind of makes things interesting in the West. So I think that Houston, they're going to play it straight up, like they're going to tighten things up, especially with no Dylan Brooks. I expect the starting lineup with Jalen Green, Almond Thompson, Fred VanVleet. I think we'll probably get Tari Eason in there, and then obviously Alperen Sengun.
Nuggets do play the Rockets, by the way.
Oh, they do? Okay.
Last game, April 13th, the last regular season game.
Oh, that'd be awesome if that one's like if they have the same
3:30 Eastern on Sunday. That could be a big boy.
Yeah, that would be
in
huge.
Houston.
Yes, I mean the Rockets been running tight rotations anyway, so they're going to keep it really, really tight here. And then OKC, injuries on Jalen Williams, but they'll get Aaron Wiggins back. Isaiah Joe did get downgraded, so he might get the night off. The Houston side is definitely more interesting because we know that the minutes are going to be there for these guys. I think Tari Eason at 6.2K, really good mid-tier option. He's just going to get all the minutes. His defense is going to be very important here in the matchup against all the size and the wings for OKC. I don't mind. Like, it's going to be a lot of off-ball scoring for Houston to put up points here, just because the OKC is really short up their interior defense and their rebounding has been really good. And Houston, I think they're like the top offensive rebounding team in the league. OKC was struggling early in the year with the rebounding when they were trying to run out the Chet at center lineups. But they have Hartenstein that'll probably get back to starting lineup tonight after he didn't start last game. So I think that they'll be fine there. But yeah, it's going to have to be a lot of these off-ball guys for Houston. So I would say like even Fred VanVleet is kind of interesting, but I think that Tari is good, Jabari pretty good as well. I don't think this is the spot for Amen. I don't mind Jalen Green. I don't know who Dort is going to be. Whoever Dort's going to be on is going to probably be the guy that I'm fading. I think they'll put Dort on Jalen Green, but I have to look back at some of the. Actually, yeah, that makes sense. Lou Dort on Jalen Green, and then Jalen Williams on Amen. Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, Jalen Green probably going to be closer to a fade in that matchup. But yeah, I think Tari is pretty good. Fred VanVleet's pretty good. Alfred Sengun, just because the slate doesn't have a lot of great spend ups, is fine. But this could definitely be a spot where those minutes get cut back a little bit, and they go a little bit more of the small ball lineups to Jabari Smith at the 5. Love the matchup for SGA. Pick and roll defense has been an issue for Houston all season long, but man, almost 12K for him with a fully healthy starting lineup is going to be really tough for me to get to. I'd probably just prefer to get down to like Jalen Green and Chet Holmgren. Okay, what did I just say? Jalen Williams and Chet Holmgren. I almost said Chet Williams.
You said Jalen Green and Chet, and then yeah, I'm wearing off on you with all the nonsense chaos going on.
Yeah, my brain is melting over here. But yeah, I think Chet's pretty good. I don't. There's nothing really about the matchup. It's just he's cheap at 7.3K with the power forward eligibility, which is big with all the strong center options. I think he's gonna be the guy that I prefer the most. And then that's probably it. Like, this is definitely probably a better real life game than fantasy, but I think that we'll probably get some scores that we're gonna. I don't know if we'll need them, but I think we'll get some viable fantasy scores tonight in this game.
Response. Nades is on the wrong stream yard. All right, my play of the day, Tari Eason. You made that easy. I was struggling looking at everything, and then I was like, all right, Tari Eason with no Dylan Brooks, couple more minutes, big beneficiary there. Close spread. They're gonna need he's just such a good point per minute producer. He can put it in the rim, he can rebound. If you're worried a little bit about this game going small with Sengun, Tari will play all those minutes late if Sengun misses any bit of a stretch if they want to take this game small. So yeah, thank you. Good call. Man, I think Tari at a very fair price tag in the 6K range at pretty much no ownership and the power forward eligibility, not just center. That's money. That's my play for you, little neck, who's getting very little ownership. It's just so, as all these slates are, like, it's just going to be such chalk, and a lot of it's such good chalk. Like, how can you avoid Joe Val at 3.8 if he's starting, stuff like that? I mean, Paul Reed looks good. The Mamu stuff, Klingin. There's just a billion value. No Scotty Barnes, Walter, Mogbo, etc. Tari Easton's the one that stands out. Like, all right, if he's projected sub 10%, he can get me legit 40, 45. And that's what you need on this slate. I want 7, 8X, even if I'm talking in the 6K range. Like, I don't just want 5X. Now, when you're talking 12K, like, that's what I was going to ask you. SGA, if I knew he was going to get 58, I think I'm still probably over the field today because of all that value we do have. What do you think of that? Or, like, what number do you think you need from a guy up in that price today?
Yeah, I would agree. I think 58 is probably good enough on the slate because I just don't really see like a lot of. I don't think, like, last night was pretty clear we're going to get a big game from Giannis, Denny, and Paolo. That seemed pretty straightforward, and then even like LeBron and stuff. If things went a little bit different, could have been on the winner. But tonight, like, I think that it's going to be a floor slate outside of maybe some outlier performances in the mid tier. So I do agree with you there. Since we have some technical difficulties, I also have a play for today.
All right. I love it. What you got?
Yeah, so it's kind of the theme of the slate was like that mid-tier center options I thought were pretty good, but I think that Jalen Duren at 7.5K, if those minutes like are true, and because they just haven't shown a willingness to play Paul Reed much in his career in Detroit, they might just say like, all right, fuck it, we got one more game with you at center without Isaiah Stewart. Like, let's just run it up to like 34 again. That could look really good in this matchup. So I think Duren is going to be the guy that I'd be overweight on.
I love it. Mid-tier. I mean, I think those mid-tier stuff, like the guys that you do think have 40-plus point upside, those are the guys you want to attack, especially, I mean, Duren's going to be low owned. I think Easton will be pretty low owned with 6.2K, maybe a little more ownership. Center's just so loaded on the slate. Again, I want big boy upside. Let me do this quick for you, Higo. I didn't look we're just going to go to the stone. Again, I didn't look ahead of time, but I think looking at the stone, we can see FanDuel projections. We can see the ownership. Can kind of get a look briefly on how I think. At initial thought, I did not think this game was going to get much ownership. So we see Jokic. Man, this game in depth, or it's not even on the slate. So maybe that's why. That's the night stuff here. FanDuel ownership. Yeah, nobody above 10%, nobody above 15%. Draymond, the highest owned there. Obviously, center, like 12-8 for Yoke, and you only can play one center. A lot of times it's all the value stuff. Again, I have cash cores. You can see like where the chalk and stuff's going right there for FanDuel. Ham does GPP core report. Any thoughts, though? When I look briefly, just some healthy teams. Obviously, a good game environment effect in the sense of real life stuff. The total, yeah, we have a pretty big total, but just two healthy teams, and the prices are up there on all of them. 10-game slate, too. FanDuel's including all 10. I don't think this game's one you really want to get too much in DFS. Just looking briefly, though. Any quick thoughts there before we get on out?
Yeah, I obviously don't play much FanDuel, so I would take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But, I mean, I feel like anytime you get Jokic, obviously the center options, I just checked like pretty quickly on FanDuel are really, really strong. You only get one over there, so it's tough to kind of make up that value at other positions. But, I mean, it's Jokic. Like, he could put up 100 fantasy points, and then you would definitely want that. I guess it's a little bit tougher for him because you don't get the bonuses on FanDuel, so maybe not. But, I mean, I wouldn't mind, like, Draymond, Jimmy. I think Steph is pretty good. It's probably just Jokic. Maybe Aaron Gordon is okay. But, yeah, probably better real-life game than actual fantasy game.
Yeah, I'd probably max one. The problem is, like, when people that, like, centers today, Toshibwe, Paul Reed, Klingon, like, you're paying 6,000, like, 7,000 more for them. He has to really have his big boy game, his 60-point triple-double, Westy absolutely throw it for him, etc. And even, yeah, that's probably enough. But even like 70 from Jokic, if one of these, like Toshibwe, Paul, if they get you 36, 37, who knows what it's going to look like. Again, you only can play one center, very strong point per dollar plays with a couple of those guys. So I wouldn't get to that game too much. Rio, I mean, man, last show, I wish Little Next, he's helping me out over here, making me feel a little better. Wish I could carry mine a little more today. But crushed it like always. 7 games on DraftKings. All do lock within the hour. Again, a bunch still going on tonight. PGA Showdown show. MMA this weekend. NASCAR this weekend. NHL still going. MLB show will be right after this in 10 minutes. Good morning slate. Solid afternoon slate as well. Slate playing up. Core reports. Everything you need. ShipItNation.com. Again, no better time to join. MLB 50 gets you $50 off your first month. Includes the core package of SaberSim as well. So all of our content, all the sports, and SaberSim, $49. Absolutely cannot beat that for your first month. So head over. Definitely do get in the Discord if you do join, though. Best community out there, hands down. A lot of stuff will be happening in the Discord moving forward, Rio. People ask you questions, always discussions. You tag the chat. If, like, when the Jokic, all the starters were out, you tag the chat telling the people how you view the stuff. Obviously, with no show, will be even more of that stuff. But awesome year. You had, 200K wins? You had 2?
Just one for basketball.
I know you had multiple second, third place. You had a qualifier seats. I mean, you were all over the lobby. A lot of showdown wins. You and Sir John Daly and Jonathan and all the guys in there. But heck of NBA year for you. It's not over yet. Playoffs will be fun. But, yeah, final words before we get on out here.
No, just appreciate everybody hanging around this whole season. Made it another really good year. Love talking basketball. Love talking basketball with all the members, all the people in the Discord, all the people in YouTube chat every single day. So yeah, appreciate everybody. And thanks for tuning in every single week for us.
Thanks for putting up with the shenanigans and stuff going on over here, the technical difficulties. Good luck tonight, everybody. And again, MLB coming up right after. NBA tonight. A lot of cheese to be made heading into the weekend. We'd love to have you at SHIPIT Nation. For Rio, the last time this year for NBA. I'm Titletown. Good luck. Be safe. We'll see you in the Discord. Peace.